Okay, good afternoon. This is Dr. Nelson Garais. HCA520 7AAX meets at 1 p.m. and 6 p.m. September 9, week 6, 2021. We are not meeting this evening at 6 p.m. It's in the announcements. So this is the 1 p.m. session. And it's just repeated. And again, directed study format. So what is due today? What is due today is the lesson. And if you recall, the lesson from module 3 is that we already designed a communication plan, and that was the week prior. And now it's time for the rollout. Design your rollout and how you would get that communication out to your people, and what departments do what and when, as much detail as you can muster. So that's due today. I'll be looking at stuff. And the reason I canceled, I booked a symposium and I forgot about it, and it's non-refundable. So I gotta hop on a train tonight. And why did I say train? I'm not gonna train. I'm gonna, of course, in my car. So that's module 3. Today we start module 4, and of course, task and discussion. So today's task for module 4: with today's advances in telehealth and the last 2 years since the pandemic, it's obvious that telehealth now is now the mainstay of doctor office visits. So look over this chapter and these videos, and um, let's see, what is the task? See if I'm missing something. Um, the task is choose a telehealth service line that you would introduce at Mercy Hospital, and be specific for which department, outpatient, and how it goes. Which population would it serve? Now, it would be nice if it served the more vulnerable population or the most needy that's in the Mercy system, and use telehealth services that are already in play. And again, you can try to reinvent the wheel, but in real life, that's not a very good idea. You try to find a service line. Now, what do we mean by a service line? After you go through these things, there are different products that telehealth. And remember, Mercy Hospital is a tertiary system, meaning to say is it's like a full service hospital with all the bells and whistles. So find a telehealth service, and the best way to do it is try to pick like 3 of them that are local, because typically when you let's say, for example, you're shopping for a telehealth service line to provide for your particular facility, you would what do you call that? You usually get anywhere from 3 to 5 bidders for that service, and then you pick like the top 2 or the top 3, and you give a report and a rationale why. So that's what your task is. So find like 3 within the area, or the top 3 that the other facilities use, and then in your paper, go over advantages, disadvantages for Mercy Hospital, cost effectiveness for Mercy Hospital, and go and your recommendations on which telehealth service that you would like for Mercy Hospital. Now, that's actually how we do in real life. A classic example is right now we are all investigating to see if maybe we get Blackboard or Canvas versus the current Moodle, right? So you could look at it that as an example of the telehealth service line. And the university had to do what? Had to look at the different options, compare and contrast, pros and cons that would be good for the university, and then our recommendations. And for us, it was a no-brainer, but we still have to present all potential, what do you call that? All potential bidders so that it will be fair. Because at the end of the day, especially when they start looking at your numbers and at your accounting, they want to see if the bidding was fair. Okay. Oh, I see you're here. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, yeah. Hi, Professor. How are you?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to interrupt.
No, oh, good. So I just thought my mic was feeding back or something, and I looked down here. So, did you get most of it on what the task for next week is?
I think I missed the beginning of it. You were already saying fine. Some telehealth services that are out there.
Yeah. So again, we're back to Mercy Hospital. Find 3 telehealth service lines, that the local area uses for their for their telehealth. Um, um, uh, I forgot what's the one that Cigna uses. Cigna has their own platform. Centara has their own. Inova, I think they use Zoom, but the Zoom is connected to their internal. So, you pick, you research and find the top 3 that are in the area. Then you do pros and cons of each telehealth service, like telehealth service 1. What's the good stuff? What's the bad stuff for Mercy? 2, good stuff, bad stuff. 3, good stuff, bad stuff. And inclusive of that is, okay, how much is it going to cost us? And a typical metric is usually cost per patient. Okay. And I just used the example on how we look at our Moodle, which is our learning management system. We actually did the same thing because we were wondering how cost effective it is, because many students also wonder, like, why don't you use Canvas or what do you call that? Blackboard. And the quick answer is because we weighed the pros and cons, and it's not cost effective, and it's not what's not good for our students isn't good for us. And that should be the same concept you have. If it's not good for my my patients, it's not good for us. For example, Cigna had to revamp theirs because I remember years ago, before the pandemic, getting an online face-to-face with your provider was glitchy, and I had a hard time hearing my internist. But now they probably fixed everything, and of course, because of the pandemic, telehealth is now king. Now, here's also another thing to consider as well when you're looking at it. Why do a lot of doctors go out of business when this telehealth is like the latest greatest thing and can reach more people? So that should also be a consideration on the con argument on whether to pick up a telehealth service or not. How reliable is it? We already mentioned cost effectiveness, but also a lot of your patients are elderly, and they're older. And a lot of the patients, especially if they are in a vulnerable population, a lot of them don't have a good internet service or even a computer or even internet. So those are things to consider when you're writing up your analysis on how to pick the proper telehealth. And this stuff is old already. There's no such thing as frontier of telehealth. Last year was the first year in this country and in many countries where telehealth, superseded actual visits, and for obvious reasons, because of COVID. All of my visits now are remote.
Yeah.
I don't go to the office unless they have to do something to me. And even the laboratories, they just send an electronic receipt to the lab. I show up the lab. I give them the Q code or the little code that they text to me, and then they take whatever, they confirm whatever order. And it was also the same thing for COVID testing, swabbing, and also vaccines. When I showed up to the vaccine, I just showed them my phone, the Q code.
That's it.
They verified who I was, name, date of birth, and they were like, okay, good to go. Stand there, get shot, and then they printed out the little sticker and they put it on the little card. But it's also there electronically as well. So that's all telehealth.
Okay.
Because and try to find like local companies that provide that for the facilities around our area. Yes, question.
Okay. Yeah, so sorry. I guess kind of a few things. Well, for this week, usually we talk about lesson 3. So I just wanted to make sure you did talk about lesson 3 last week, but
Yeah.
I only submitted the task 3, and usually we do task 3 and discussion, and then for
Yeah.
this
So
week,
so do that. Get that in, and
okay, I just
I'll
wanted
look
to
at it
make
over the
sure.
week.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that like that I didn't have to do 2 assignments in 1 week. Are we not doing the 2 weeks anymore? You know what I mean?
We
'Cause
typically
technically,
do like task and discussion, and then lesson, and then
yeah,
like
and lesson and
them.
reply. So technically for this week, it will be the lessons and the replies. And then when we meet next week, it will be
Let me
like
see,
the
maybe I'm
task
jumping
4.
ahead of the gun here.
Yeah, a little bit. Just making sure. I
Uh,
mean, like
because
technically based on the format that we're having
how's this
this week,
task and
what you,
discussion?
yeah.
You did this one right? The module 3, task and discussion. Get that
Uh-huh.
done, right?
Okay.
I won't fault you for it. And then if you got that done already, work on this lesson because I think the
Yeah.
evening crew. I think I jumped the gun. The evening crew
Okay.
might be like 1 week ahead of you. I'm unsure. But
Oh, okay, okay.
if you have the task and discussion from module 3, good.
Uh-huh.
Kindly submit that. And if you got the lesson already, good to go. And
No.
I'll give everybody until next week. But
Okay.
let's
Yeah, I don't have the lesson.
okay.
I submitted the task 3, but technically, even though you did give us information about the lesson last week,
Uh-huh.
usually what we've been doing is like this week you would talk to us about the lesson 3, and we have this week to turn in the lesson 3 and this and replies by the time that we meet next week, if that makes sense.
Yes. But go
And
ahead and do
then,
that because I don't think anybody's late, honestly.
okay,
When I was looking at it, so keep on doing what you're doing. But this week,
okay.
what was I doing? In the beginning, I already reviewed this part, and this is what
Yeah,
we
you
discussed last
review
week.
now. What I wrote down right now is the task 4, which technically
The
we're
task for
supposed to talk
module
about
3.
next week. Yeah,
Okay.
but
All right. So
I already took the notes. I was just saying so that because otherwise then I will have to do 2 assignments this week. You know what I mean?
yeah, go
Instead of
ahead. Just do that, and because I think maybe you might be maybe 1 week behind, but it's okay.
really?
Just keep on going to the path that we're doing because I think I might have doubled up on something with the evening
Okay.
group.
Okay,
But
cool.
whether your evening group or your the afternoon group,
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
this is module 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And well,
Because
you're
this
gonna
is
get that
week
other stuff.
6,
Yeah. So
right?
this
This
is
is
week
week
6.
6.
Try to get module 4 out by week 7.
Okay,
That
no
sounds good.
problem.
So
Thank you so much. And
task
another
module
thing I
4
wanted
is
to
week
tell
7.
you, I'm sorry?
Task module 4 is for week 7. It's for next week, not
Okay.
this week.
Perfect. And I'm sorry, another thing that I wanted to tell you, I actually have a doctor's appointment today at 1:30, and I couldn't get a different time. So, I mean, I'm already like in the car on my
Right,
way,
so
but I
you
just
could
wanted to let you know, I'm so
make sure
sorry.
that make sure that you watch the video. And I'm almost done here because all I'm going to
Okay.
do is talk about this task and the discussion, and then
Okay.
we're good to go. Okay, so you can
Okay.
log off, and we all have this recording, so everyone will
Perfect.
be on the same page. All righty.
Thank you so much,
Okay,
Professor.
I'll see you
And I
next
saw
week.
that you submitted the grades, so thank you so much. I just wanted to make sure that you knew I don't have a grade yet for task 1, but that's the one that I had to email to you because of the problem in the Moodle, which you
Yeah,
already know. But
don't
anyways,
sweat don't
I
sweat like if you don't see something, just make sure to remind me because I
okay.
see it. Because some
Okay,
things,
cool.
especially the grades that are submitted late,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, Moodle doesn't update you until you get your final grade. It's just one of the bizarre
Okay.
things of Moodle. But you're fine.
Okay,
Like
cool.
I stated, I don't think there's anybody in this class that has any issues or any late stuff. And
Okay.
if there is, you get a call from me. Okay.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to double check. Okay,
Okay,
thank you so much,
let me
Professor.
log
Really
off
appreciate it,
and
and I
I will,
apologize that I
no
have to
sweat.
leave early.
Yep,
Thank you so
and
much.
I'll have this video out by this afternoon.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you
Yo,
next week.
see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you. Bye.
Okay, so uh, the task we just talked about, and that's for next week, and the discussion for next week. And if you want, because several of you already replied anyway, so do the replies. You know, can't hurt. Wireless, the wireless future of medicine, wearable technology, wireless devices, and again, we're talking about this TED talk is maybe a little bit dated, but we're talking about technology. So please, if you have your 7th edition APA format, make sure it is 2021 innovations that you're using. And make sure to state in your discussion, is it an actual alternative to hospitalization? Is it does it actually decrease hospital stay? And of course, present your evidence. All right, and it's about telemetry, and nowadays everything's on, everything can be accessed through the cloud. And are there any future opportunities for healthcare in the next 5 years? And just do know and understand, by the time the general public gets to see stuff, it's already 10 years old. We were already doing, my goodness, a lot of this wearable technology that's in this TED talk. It was kind of already in the testing beta phases when I was in medical school in the 90s. So make sure to get the most recent article, recent journal that you can find. Okay, to recap, just for clarification, because Ms. Montoya pointed out some things. Recap for next week, module 4, discussion 4, and task due next week, week 7. And this week, it is the module 3 lesson that is due. Okay. Anyone have any questions? Make sure to call me. And again, sorry, apologize for not being there tonight, but in a couple of hours, I got to go skedaddle. Okay. So everyone have a good weekend, and give me a call if there's any other issues.